So what you're saying is when you get a spray tan, you have to wear a banana hammock?
Oh my gosh. Jumped right back into it.
Right then.
That's what I wear.
And hey, we're live.
Thank you, Pastor Tim.
Casting Point.
That's great.
So we're glad that you guys are here today watching Casting Points once again. We have a guest with us today that I'm very excited to have with us. Ron.
Give us a good old wave.
Good old way. Hi.
Adair. Adair.
Adair, how you doing today?
He's a huge Illini fan, as you can see.
No.
Yep.
Roll Tide. Let's get that out fast. Roll Tide.
Wait.
Some
Hey,
people's
Tim,
children.
where's he running to?
Running?
Yeah, you said run Adair.
Run, Adair, run.
Yeah. He's so funny.
Oh, the Bad Joke Tuesday
There you
just
go.
keeps right
Right.
on.
Dad
rolling.
All day long.
All day
All
long.
day long.
So yeah, Ron's with us today, and we're excited to have him here. Obviously, we have our co-host with us, Matthew Parker.
Boom.
Boom at the mic. And none other than Joey and us are behind the controls.
Yo.
Yoey.
Joey.
So we're excited to have you guys watching along with us, listening along with us, wherever you're at today. So, yeah, Ron, you've been coming to the Point Church for a little while.
For a while, about a little bit over 2 years.
2 years.
2
Wow.
years, yeah.
So you're actually
my
pre-COVID.
goodness.
I am entering COVID as we got here in the December before COVID.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You
When
were
did
my
COVID
first-
start? I already forgot.
2019, I believe. it was.
No,
March.
March. Because
March.
that was the week before. I started the week before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
So really about March
Yeah.
is when everything, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there?
March is when
Yeah.
it was.
I mean,
March
people were starting
2020.
to kind of come out
Yeah.
with COVID.
Yeah.
They weren't really, doing
We
the
played
whole
one
pandemic
weekend
thing.
online on the stage
Yeah.
and then quarantined the stage.
Done.
Yeah.
Actually, technically, it was my birthday.
Yeah.
Then COVID happened.
COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was all that cake.
You caused COVID.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you,
Entirely
Joey, for
because
that.
I went to a bar in Wisconsin.
That's right.
We had to shut the church down because of
Joey.
and Usher. But hey, we love you anyway,
That's
brother.
right. And you-
Thanks for running the booth.
That's right.
Job security.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Everything went digital. I don't know. How did that happen?
I was the only guy with a job was Joey.
So Ron came pre-COVID, and so you've seen a lot of change and
Whew. Shoe buddy.
shoe buddy.
I have seen some change go on in this church that I never thought that I would. I thought I was getting to a church that'd been around a while, that was pretty solid, and
Really setting our way.
and everything
Set the
really.
ways.
So they had all the things I was looking for, and all of a sudden it went away. I was also it's like, hey, catch you on Sunday at 10 online there. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I think we all would have to agree with that, though.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah,
2020 was,
not our year.
and I've told people this. I hate to say this, I actually enjoyed 2020.
No. I think we really enjoyed 2020.
We
I
did.
did.
From
I
the
did.
from the challenges of there was a lot of change. We were able to implement things that I think we had thought about, but never had just taken the.
Yeah, I mean,
The step.
we'd even
The step,
tried.
right.
We'd even tried some of it, and it just wasn't really panning out.
Right,
and because
right.
it wasn't so crucial, we just never did it.
Yeah, the video stuff and the YouTubing and all these different aspects that COVID really pushed us over the edge. And it was
This
yeah,
this room.
yeah, right.
Yeah, this room wasn't even available.
and a closet that we started in.
Oh my
literally,
gosh.
Literally was a
closet.
closet,
Remember,
yeah.
Joey,
the
you remember our
day?
closet?
Yeah.
Oh,
I tried to get it out of my mind.
Just Joey.
hey, how are we going to get drums in here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just going to be Matt and Tim,
And a snare
and
drum.
we're going to record separate parts of it, and then we don't. Yeah.
Splice it all together afterwards. Matt's here till 2 a.m. in the dark church alone.
Yeah.
Pre-night lights.
Free night.
Free
Like,
night.
We have night
lights.
lights in the church
Yeah,
now because of that. Yeah.
yeah.
No, thank you.
It's crazy.
I remember we made this room.
Yeah.
And we had the bright idea, since our logo's red and black, we're like, oh, let's make a red and black room. That'll look
That
sharp.
red. It was not red.
Was it blood red?
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible red.
It was rusty anchor was the color that we ended up with. And when you put it on and put light on it, it was like a terrible orange.
Oh,
Horrible.
It was bad.
Mo ugly.
It was bad.
Mo ugly.
Well, it depended on how the light was hitting it. as
Oh, that too.
I mean, it could be 20 different shades of red. It was,
Like blood red.
and I don't know. I'm not a painter. However, painting red must be very difficult.
It must be.
Because
It was
the
all over the
streaks
joints.
It is. It's
and-
just hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy. But we made it through. Well, we made it through. And I would say 2021 has probably been more challenging
Oh my god.
than 2020.
Trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, because you did reinvent the wheel in 2020.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the wheel that you just made doesn't fit on the car anymore. And
Right.
you're like, wait, whoa, we just made this thing.
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah, like the wheel came off as we were going down the highway doing
Yes.
70 miles an hour.
Past
Yes.
us. See ya.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. But when we got here, everything was like solid. Then all of a sudden, everything broke loose and everything. Like Tim says, the easiness of the 2020, the group of people that you had around you tightened so nicely.
Oh, that's
It just tightened so nicely.
there's some truth in that.
That
There's
was
some truth
to
in that.
us that made it feel like more of a home church because of the fact that the people we'd gotten with and Patty and I had got Patty's my wife and we had gotten with the youth people, but that Matt and Rhonda and Bree and Sherman and we were just glued together because we knew and Sarah and John. Because we knew that's all we could have. We couldn't have any more of those people.
Right. So we'd hang out.
Yeah, we hung out, and it really caused us to. It felt more like again a home
It solidified
church.
the small group
Right.
aspect
Right.
of the
Especially
church
with
where you were
Rodney
having
and
to
them.
lean into
Yeah.
just a small group of people because no longer could we hang out with
100.
or
100.
100, 200,
we
300
even talked
people,
about,
whatever.
I think previously, I want to say we talked about it on the podcast, watching that group just go,
Right.
Right.
and everybody's small group
Right.
up to 20 people at
Up
one
there,
point. And they're
big,
like, nope, we got to get them back
They're
down. We
just
need
trying
more
to get
groups,
fed.
more
Right.
groups.
Yeah, Rodney's group had to on Monday nights had to decrease because we were getting too many people at his house, and it was just like, okay, we got to figure something out,
Yeah.
And then Patty and I got busy with youth, and so that kind of pulled us away. And it was just
So there's a fact that as you watched this play out, 2020 hindsight,
Yeah.
but as you watched it play out, our life groups, our small groups,
Right.
actually became closer and tighter because
Life groups became the lifeblood,
lifeblood of
that's
the
a good,
church.
That's a good
Exactly.
thing. Yeah, they were the
which
were
they
the
should
blood,
be
yeah.
all the time.
Right. I mean, it was total first church, first century church.
Yep. So speaking of church, you made your way here. What was there anything? I know that you've been to several different churches over
Yes.
your life, and you've seen church.
I've seen church.
You've seen church.
Grew up in church. Church of Christ. The first thing was mom was a single mom, so wherever we would rent a house.
So where'd you
from
grow up
church-
at?
I
Where
grew up
was that?
all over the Pittsburgh area.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
I moved from Cleveland to Pittsburgh.
I don't think I even knew that.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Greensburg, Pennsylvania. We lived in different houses within the area there. Whenever a church would rent us a house, we'd go to that church. And it was more to the Church of Christ, First Christian Church. Those were the main type of churches we went to. And that was kind of our founding block. I was baptized when I was 12 years
Represent.
old. Represent.
Church of Christ.
There you go.
Christian church.
We did not
Represent.
have a piano. We did not have any guitar.
Whoa, non-instrumental Church of Christ.
Non-instrumental Church of Christ. Even the First Christian
Did
church.
you have a pitch pipe though?
Yes, but he was not outside like the guy you had.
Yeah. Right.
No, we had that, and even the First Christian church we went to were still just one piano and Blue Book hymnal.
Yeah.
Which we loved.
The appreciation of the Church of Christ. Let me tell you, the non-instrumental Church of Christ. We talk about participation, people singing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I will tell you, in the Church of Christ, non-instrumental,
100%.
100%.
those people sing,
You got a choir of
and
150
they know
people in
how
front of you
to sing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why
Little
I
blue
learned-
hair old lady right behind you. Wah!
Yeah. Oh, she gives you a little roll every once in a while. But yeah, we do that. And then had was in a youth group and stuff like that. Mom remarried a very biblical man, Joe White, who saved my life, is what I tell people. I felt like I was a kid, 12 years old, not going anywhere, and this guy gave me fact and purpose and led me further into the church and everything, and further into the Bible.
Yeah.
So
It was that father figure that
Yeah.
really steered you in
Yeah.
the right direction.
Pop
which
was
is
still
awesome.
around, but he wasn't really around much. But this guy was here every day and just taught me and led us deeper and deeper into the Lord.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Boy Scout leader with me and things like that. Just was awesome. So I was at youth. I was like, hey, my plan is I'm going to be a youth pastor. I don't know about Church of Christ.
One
but
of those guys.
I want to be one of those.
Yeah.
Well, that was before
One
you
of
had to
those.
know
Hey,
how to.
I
that was before
resent that.
I was literally about to pitch that
Well,
right
that was
to you.
before to be a youth pastor. You had to be a techno wizard or play an instrument because
Right.
you just had to know how to.
Or skinny jeans.
I resent that too.
Or skinny jeans.
Because
Yeah.
we know that no youth pastor can just be a youth pastor.
right?
Yeah.
Not in these days,
Right.
no way. And especially now, 65-year-old and just look at that. But
Ron does look great in the skinny jeans.
I
though.
do. I do have a pair of skinny jeans. As Tim says, all my jeans.
I was going to say all my jeans are skinny jeans.
yeah, just because we're
Mine are
not.
getting there, man. They really are.
We're not.
It
Fat.
doesn't matter what they are. I put them on, and those bad boys are skinny jeans.
We're not fat. We're husky. It says on our pants. So there was a whole brand of husky brands. But we did it. So got into that, and it was deep on path and on course, to be a pastor at that time and everything. So
Was that because of the relationship you had with a youth pastor? In
with the
church?
youth pastor of my church, Tommy Nicholson, and my stepfather, my uncle, some pastor, the elders of the church. They would just pour into me and pour into all the kids. It's not me. I mean, we were with somebody every Sunday afternoon.
I mean, there's so much truth in that the youth pastor is just that.
Yeah.
The pastor to these youth.
Yeah.
And that's who they look up to. That's who they're getting their guidance and their shepherding from, and it really is. I mean, you may have a lead pastor, you may have several, but that youth pastor, whoever they are, has such an impact to this day. I look at my youth pastor from back in the day, and he impacted my life tremendously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I was at, and then I got a 4-year ride to scholarship to Ohio State to play baseball. Yeah.
How'd you get that?
I actually could play baseball at that time.
He was the ball boy.
So I was
Water boy.
I was
Water.
water boy. So I went down and I did one quarter, and they forgot to tell me something.
You had to study.
I was supposed to go to class. Yeah.
Oh, come
so
on.
they asked me to leave, and so I come back. We were in Cleveland at this time, and I go back home, and my mom and my stepdad sit me down. They say, "You have two choices. You can either go in the military or come work at the plant where my dad owned, the tool and die plant." No other choice in the world of an 18-year-old at that time.
I'm out of here. Where do I sign?
So I got all the guys down to plant because I worked there during high school and everything. That will walk around missing a finger or a thumb or something.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to look into.
I want to take a bullet instead.
Yeah, I will take a bullet instead. So I joined the Navy, and I actually went down to the Marine recruiter. And he was at lunch, and I got a Navy recruiter tell me, "Oh, we got everything they got." So next thing I said, "Well, I want to be a Navy SEAL."
Oh boy.
I want to be a Navy SEAL.
Right.
And so I was a lot thinner then and muscular.
That's all muscle.
I don't
man.
want to be a regular Navy guy.
I
want
to be the best.
I'm going to be the best.
I want to be the best because that's all I want to be is the best.
That's what he was in baseball.
Yeah,
Right.
'cause I was the best. I was
Not
all-
in studying.
I was all Ohio 3 years in a row. So joined the Navy, went to boot camp, went to Buds out in California, went through all the Buds, went to jump school.
Which do you guys know what Buds is?
Buds
Do
is-
these guys know
Dude,
what Buds is?
I don't even know what that
Joe,
is.
you know what Buds is?
That's what I call Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, Bud.
Hey, bud.
Thanks, bud.
Hey, bud. It's basic underwater demolition at the time, and that's what
I
you
knew
basically
that.
you learn to.
And
basically,
actually, have you? They've got something like on Netflix or something like that shows that week. Of
Hell Week.
Just,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
it was not fun. It was not fun.
I watched the show and go.
Not,
I
no.
can't hardly watch the show and make
Yeah, I got through all that and everything, and by no means was it easy, but I got through.
no
it all.
sleep. I mean, they give you like 2 hours of sleep or something.
But you eat a lot. You do eat a lot. Every time you turn around, somebody's feeding you, carving you up to keep you on you going.
Right.
And you're always watering yourself like that. And you drank a lot of water. Most of it was seawater, but you drank a lot of water.
Getting your salt for the day.
And you got a lot of salt for the day. So went to jump school, came back, waiting to go to either weapons school or some other school or something. And doing a beach run, I broke my ankle. And so I had to ring a bell. And ringing a bell means you're out. You're gone. So they say, you want to stay in the Navy or you want to go home? And I says, I want to stay in the Navy. And so next thing I was called IBM. I was not the missile, but it was Instant Boatswain, which I went to the ship. And next thing I know, I'm hanging over the side, chipping paint and doing all these kind of things. And my chief and everybody liked me. And so they kind of gave me some better jobs. But most of it was hanging over ship, chipping paint and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Later on in the military, then and I'll go short to the military. But I got in military law enforcement when I was in E5 about 4 or 5 years.
So you stayed in.
I stayed in. I said 23 years. Active
23
duty,
years.
23 years active duty. All but.
Did you think
through
that would be your career path?
I did, and it was. And
so you went in thinking,
when I went in for 30.
Yeah.
That was my thought, to go in 30. got to about 23, and they changed the rules. If you hadn't made E8, I was a chief, trying to make senior chief. If you had not made that by then they were going to say you got to buy. Well, I told them they're not going to put me out. I'm just going to go on my own terms. But go back to when I first came to the military, I was still headstrong for God and everything like that. And I got in with this church, the Church of Christ, that was in Long Beach, California. And this is the late 70s, mid to late 70s. And so
I can't even comprehend what a Church of Christ would look like.
Oh, they wore
Long
suits.
Beach,
yeah, they wore suit
California.
pants, but they wore like polo shirts and stuff like
with
that.
long flowing hair.
There was a lot of that.
Dude.
There was a lot of that. So
they all looked like white Jesus.
Yes, white Jesus. Right. No beards. So that's the same time that the Maranatha movement came out. Maranatha movement came out, especially in California, and it was basically deep in music, deep in God's word, and it showed about God's love. And God's love was all prevalent there, and I'm trying to think of the guy right now, Barry, I can't think of his name. He had been a rock musician and heroin addict. He came out of that and found God. And then there were a lot of groups that were playing, black groups, white groups were playing church music, and they were playing instrumental church, rock and roll Christian music. And I loved it. So I would go back to church and tell these guys, I just found this. It's all about Jesus. This is all about this.
That's a slippery slope, Ron.
I got on that slope.
Back to that.
Yeah, it's like saying that the earth is round.
That's right, yeah. So I went back.
Whoa,
and
music in the church.
Yeah, they told me that was sin real quick. That was sin. S-I-N. Sin. So every time I was going back to church to tell them about the love of God or anything like that, I'm getting told no. Well, at the same time, I'm on the ship. And at that time, I was 19 years old by then, and I liked to fight a lot, and I liked to drink a lot, and chase girls a lot. And all those, the devil was telling me yes the whole time, like, come on down, we got prizes for you, And when I'm getting told no by the church that I grew up and loved, and after a while, admittedly so, weak heart says, I'm gone. I always continued to believe in God, believe in Jesus. I knew who my Savior was, but a practicing Protestant of any sort, that was not me. And if I went, I would go to church when I would come home on vacation, on leave, as they would call it. And my mother would sit there and hold me. She says, "Remember John 3:16." All the time, every card I got, remember John 3:16. God loves you, And that always boom, boom, boom. So I turned way away from the church, way away from the church. Fast forward to about 2001, I think. Me and Patty.
Well, that's a great enabler you were with, though.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
The military is a great enabler to
absolutely
chase desires.
Oh yeah,
besides God,
and
right?
I did them. I chased all desires. I was all gun ho, especially after getting into law enforcement. Anything with a gun or anything with boom, I was with that. I'm going to do that. I wanted to go
anything that goes boom.
Anything goes boom. I want to be there. Chasing girls.
Running.
Yeah, chasing girls. Fighting. Just I'd fight my friends if I couldn't find anybody else to fight, and just enjoyed that. And so. That was
loving life right now.
I was loving life, I
Ron go boom.
I know, Ron go boom. So
Ron go boom.
So
Ron go
looking
fight.
back at that, sometimes I'm going, I don't see a lot of God in that, but somewhere. But Jesus kept His hand on me the whole time. So fast forward, I get out of the military. I'm working
23 years now.
23 years later, yeah.
Where'd you get married in this?
Well, which time? So I got married.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. I got married the first time with a girl from East Chicago, Indiana. I met her in San Francisco. It was instant lust, and it developed into love. Which resulted in two wonderful, beautiful children. We ended our relationship because I chose the Navy over family. And I'm still suffering for that today. With my kids are all grown, but that shadow's still there. That was the first time I got married. I got married again in 1987, and to a beautiful girl. Again, was part of that whole Navy concept because she liked to drink, she liked to fight, she liked to, she didn't chase girls, but she liked to play guns. She's from Texas.
She liked things that go boom.
Yeah.
She did like things that go boom.
Ron go boom.
Ron go boom. So we lasted a very short time. That infatuation kind of ran out of itself for her. Not for me so much, but then later on, no, it was gone. And so that was the second time. Then finally, in 1990.
This is important, Ron.
This
is important.
This
Don't blow this one, Ron.
So he knew all the.
Don't blow this one, Ron.
This is when we cut to intermission.
The day I met Patty Tilly Kleinschmidt.
Oh, there we go.
December 3rd.
Tilly.
It's her middle name. She's German. 1994, the Christmas party at my command. I saw this girl across the aisle, and I said, "That's kind of good-looking girl there."
Sounds like something out of a movie.
I know it totally was.
Wow.
And so I called her up and asked for a date, and she told me no.
I like Patty already.
She told me no.
That's why we love Patty.
I called her at her office, and she was sitting. She'll tell you the same story. She was sitting in a little cubicle. Personal call comes in. There's one phone in the cubicle, and she didn't want to answer. She just said no. Get off the phone, and boom. Much to my surprise, a couple of days later, my phone rings at my house, which I don't give my house phone now. This is pre-cell cell phone, and it's Patty Tilly Kleischman on the phone, trying to tell me, "Hey, I'm really sorry about that. I was blah 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 blah." And I said, "Well, let me ask you again. Would you like to go out?" And she said yes. And there it started. Our first date at the Olive Garden.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Classy.
Yeah.
Nothing says
Love like
free breadsticks.
Right, breadsticks
unlimited
and
salad.
That's what it was, And little did I know that 2 years later I would be working at that same Olive Garden. But
So how
you go ahead.
back up for just a second. Patty, German. How does she make it to the U.S.?
She actually was born in Germany. Her dad was a career military guy.
Okay, so he was a U.S.
Yeah, he was a U.S.
Okay, all right.
He was he's got a good story. He was actually her dad was a Nazi youth, was conscripted into the Nazi youth.
Really?
And was going to be a glider pilot. Was all ready to take that one-day ride there, and that's when the Americans came in. The war was over.
Won.
And won, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was at a school
big
next to
bullets.
a concentration camp, a POW camp, not
POW camp, yeah.
And so he was liberated. He stayed in Germany, worked with the American allies there because he spoke English and learned more English. When he was about 17 years old, he decided to come to the United States and move to Chicago and changed his name. That's when he became a Kleinschmidt. I think it was something Goldschlager or something like that before. No, it was not. But she was going to kill me for it. She was going to kill me for it. It was some strange, but now it's Kleinschmidt.
His drinking days are coming
I
back.
cannot even comment on that.
So he, at 18, joined the Army, married his wife 2 weeks later. On his first vacation, on his first leave, he met and married my mother-in-law, wonderful woman, and they had 5 daughters. Poor guy. So he was in the Army all the time.
Poor guy. Amen.
He was outnumbered. He never saw a real bathroom. But he was.
By the time the 5th one gets married, you're just throwing out a couple $100 and going, "Good luck."
So sorry.
Well, we're still waiting for that 5th one to get married,
Right.
so, and she's 50 something.
Hey,
So we. I'm getting in trouble for this.
Yeah, you are.
So
hey,
it's Tim's fault.
I'm
all
backing
this.
away from the mic.
So
I'm
that's
stepping
all
out of the
Tim's
room.
fault. Yeah.
Hey.
So good. So
I'm just moving the camera on to
December
Ron.
3rd,
Everyone step away.
December 3rd, 1994, we met. We met. We started dating. Dating turned to love. We decided that following November, I retired from the military in June, but I actually retired in September. I was on leave for all the time, vacation all the time. So we said, well, I got to find a place to live. And she was living in a 1-bedroom apartment and no room for me. And so I said, well, let's go rent a house. So we rented a house. And about that same time, she says to me that she denies this statement, but it's true. She put me on a 5-year plan. She said, here's the deal. I either want a kid, I want a ring and a kid, 5 years. If not, this is going, tell me now, I'll walk away a nice day. And being Ron that was, I said, baby, I love you. I'll give you whatever you want,
Pulls out the Barry White voice.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Get real close.
Yeah.
Let me increase the lows so it reverberates on the subwoofers.
Hello, baby. So, and when I said it, I meant it. I said I meant it. So anything. So, fast forward, 2001, I asked her to marry her Christmas of 2000. Asked her father for her hand, did all the right thing, asked for her hand in front of her sisters and mothers and nieces and things, and did all that. We were all happy and everything. So we set a date for September 9th of 2001, and we were going to get married, of all places, in the most regal place, Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
So we got
Nothing
married.
says romance like a Las Vegas wedding.
No. A 2000s Las
right,
Vegas
that's
wedding.
right, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Vegas is very different now. It's a pretty awesome place, but no thanks.
Vegas 2001.
Of course, Elvis was big.
That's right.
The Elvis
I was vying
chapel.
I was vying for an Elvis
Chapel of
wedding.
Love.
She wasn't having that. We did get married at the Chapel of Love.
There you go.
We did.
Oh,
There
I've
it
driven
is.
past it so
There
many
is.
times.
By a Pentecostal pastor.
I now know someone who's actually gotten married there.
Yeah, we got married there, and everything like that. And September 9th, 2001.
Wait.
3 days later.
3
what
days
happened?
later, yeah, we have a.
We have the world ends at that time. The world stops, totally stops. I'm in Vegas, can't fly.
That's
we
a
can't
great
fly in.
honeymoon. You can't leave.
Yeah, I got my high school age daughter living by herself. She's panicking, thinking, she'll never see her father again. My wife is in the reserves at that time. I'm thinking she's getting called up at any time.
Oh, sure.
I'm calling back I'm working for Arlington Park Racetrack at this time, and I'm calling back to the track, and they're setting up for like mass casualty, and we can't get out. Can't get a flight. Well, I'd done pretty well at the casino, and so I said, if we're not out of here by Sunday morning, or that following Sunday morning, I'm buying a car and we're out of here. Well, Saturday morning, we were able to get a flight and get home. We had to fly into Midway, so we had to go from Midway to United and then back again. So it was a crazy, crazy time. But so we were married. We're all happy, married, and everything like that. And so about that same time, the kids had lived with us and everything, and that was a challenge for us. I had not been around my kids for most of their lives. Patty never been around kids except for nieces all her life. So getting two kids on your doorstep at teenage age was
tough.
Yeah, I love
Say the
Patty.
least.
I love
So you
Patty
got her the
more.
ring,
Yeah,
and immediately she got her kids.
she got kids. Don't tell her that. She actually got the kids before the ring. That's why I was like, well, you kind of got what you wanted.
Instant mom.
Yeah, so
Instant mom.
down the road,
Wow.
down the
Wow,
road, she
yeah.
finally laid it on me. So when does this kid part happen? And I went like, something, I can't do it. She goes, you lied to me. I says, well, it wasn't a lie then, but yeah, it was a lie. And I'm sorry, but at that time I was 50 and I said, I don't want to have kids. And I'm, 65, 68 when they're walking down the high school thing. And it was very, very tough for us. Very, very tough. So our relationship really kind of took not a total bad swing, but a bad swing where we were just married and everything like that. We were getting along and everything like that, but we were just making the days go by. So I decided we needed to buy a camper. So I went to a camp place over there on Green Bay Road.
Camper kid.
Yeah, it's all that.
I'm trying to make the connection where you're going with.
So anyway,
It sounds like cuh.
so I'm going.
Starts with the C.
I'm going to buy this. I buy this
wait a
RV.
second.
I buy this RV, and the guy is Rodney Johnson, who owns the RVs, Johnson RVs and Motors up there on Green Bay and whatever, up the Green Bay Road. So anyway, he was a Christian man. We talked about church. I told him about my faith before.
So speaking of church, let's back up just a minute, just to bring this into perspective. Where you at with God? Where you at with?
I was the same.
What's your relationship with God, church, all that stuff?
No church.
As you're getting in this relationship with Patty.
No church. We both talked about God. She had been raised Catholic, so she was aware who God was, and we both, and who Jesus was, and everything. Had been baptized in confirmation, and she had gone through the rites of Catholicism. So we both had that belief. I knew who Jesus was. I knew he was my savior, but that was just paint on a pig, and it was just so. Yeah. So I buy this RV.
Paint on a pig.
Paint on a pig. So
Shiny turd.
So I buy this RV, start talking to about buying this RV and everything like that, and Rodney's invited me to church. Yeah. We're doing that. Yeah. So one day,
Sell me the RV, boy.
yeah,
let's go.
So sell me the RV and let's
Leave
go.
me this church stuff alone. Leave this church stuff out of it.
So one day I go there and I had to get a part or something like that. He goes, "Hey, while you're here, good time here. My pastor's here.
Come on.
My pastor's here." I says, "Oh, this is right before Easter," and so he goes like, "Hey, we're having
It's the holy season now.
We're the holy season." I'm thinking, what kind of hat am I going to buy Patty? So I tell this pastor, I'm coming.
Of course you do.
So and lying out my teeth and like that. I'm lying.
I've seen this lie. I've heard this lie.
You've been this lie
To your face.
to my face. And
I'll see you there.
Oh,
Pastor.
we'll be there.
I get home and Patty's in
Can't wait.
one of these. We're just in a relationship mode and everything like that. And we'd had some problems. Be honest, I had a DUI. I lost my job. And
Ron not go boom.
Ron did not go boom. Jesus was beating Ron with a 2x4. As I now reflect, he was getting me. He says, "I'm going to bring you down. I'm not going to put you to the basement, but I'm taking you down to the first floor."
He built your doghouse.
He built me a really good doghouse. So I get home and I telling Patty about this, pastor that was inviting me to church. She goes to me, we'd never had a conversation about church ever. She goes, "You know something? I've been thinking about God and I've been thinking that we really need to go to a church." And I'm like, "Oh man, here we go." I said,
The perfect storm.
So I says well, I've never lied to a pastor. I've lied to a lot of people in my life, but I've never lied to a pastor. Well, there was this pastor about his daughter, but that was
Oh, hey.
Cut to intermission.
So anyway,
another thing to steer clear from Ron.
So we went to church that Sunday morning, Sunday, and the Holy Spirit grabbed me walking in the door. People I'd never met before are hugging me. People are just glad to see you here. So glad you're here. We're having dinner at church afterwards. You got to stay. And that's kind of feeling nice, and everything. And so we went in. We sat next to Rodney and his wife and everything. And all through the service, so this girl got up to sing, and I can't remember her name right now because I'm horrible at it. And I can't even tell you the song, but whatever the song was, Jesus lit me up. He sat, and I could feel his hand, and people say they can say you never felt God or hear God. I felt his hand on my shoulder telling me, "Welcome home." Broke down, trying not to do that now. Broke down and cried, went to the altar, gave myself back to Christ, said, "I know I'm not worthy of you one bit. I'm not worthy to be in this building, much less in your presence. But I feel I'm in your presence." And he just lit me on fire. And I said, "This is it." And we were there at Calvary Harvest for a long time. After a while, I felt God was leading me to go other places because all the youth group we had was gone.
Yeah.
And I'm a little like, they were all seniors at one time. And then, so we went to another church and we were there for a couple of years. And we went to another church and went there for a couple of years. And just did not feel the Bible was being preached the right way. The music was great. I love to sing, Matt. Just can I tell you?
You keep telling me that, Ronnie.
Listen to one day.
I know.
So anyway,
I'll have to set up an audition
more
for
than
you.
Danny on the stage one day. So we got up there. So we came here, and we'd been here about a month or so, and we always sit on the right hand side corner there, and that's where we sat at, and we called Patty 10-10 Patties because you were always 10 minutes late for church. I don't know how we listened to the two songs, but anyway, so we move over to the left side, kind of up front, and there's 3 teenagers behind us and everything like that, and we're singing, and I'm dancing because I like to dance a little bit when I sing, when a good song's being played and everything, and so this teenager taps me on the shoulder. She goes, "Have you ever thought about work with youth?" And I'm like, "Oh my, you don't even know me." But I know this story. I know. So this girl is talking to me. So we have Wednesday night, Sunday night. We got this, and we got me and Patty. We go, we're both in, and everything like that. So I'm going, I'm going to somebody, JC or somebody. I say, "Yeah, I met this teenage girl." And then Matt walks up, and I was telling him about this teenage girl. He goes like, "That wasn't a teenager. That was my wife."
Very good. Love that.
It was Rhonda and they were 2 other high school girls that were actually high schoolers, but they looked older than Rhonda did. So
my goodness,
it was awesome.
Wait till she sees this.
So
Rhonda
without the H.
Yeah, no H, please.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So So let me back up just a minute because I want to get your take on this because I've never heard you talk about this. But so you go into church on this Easter day, and which is an amazing, amazing story where God just grabs hold of you.
Yeah.
Again, and just rocks your world. And what came out of that? I mean, there had to be some change.
Oh yeah, there was.
And because we know this, right? We've been talking about this. If you follow along on our sermons at all, we've been talking about that God doesn't leave you alone.
No.
He can't.
No.
He won't.
No.
When he gets a hold of your life is going to change to some degree or another. And so,
obviously
there was change that took place. I'd like to hear that.
Biggest
and then the
effect,
effect.
Relationship.
I was going to say that's where I really wanted to go. Was
me and Patty's relationship
with Patty.
all of a sudden, whoa! It was like a week later, she gave herself to Christ and everything that we both got involved in, and I had been pretty well versed in the Bible throughout my life and everything that she had never opened the Bible besides what's ever in church,
where they read it to you.
They read it to you. So me right away, I'm back in the Word. At this time, I'm unemployed too, so
you got all this time.
I got time. I'm an hour, 2 hour in the Word. I am sitting at the feet, basically, or in the chair with Pastor Abbott and Rob and those guys, and they were teaching me, theological background and things like just not the Word, but other things involved too.
So this is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Man.
It's 2006. Yeah. So
you were only like what, mid 70s?
I was in my mid 70s. I hate you, man. I love you, but I hate you.
That was the year right before I graduated high school.
I am 64 today. Today. I have entered.
I thought you were younger than that.
I have entered my Medicare age now because of my 1st November. I'm on Medicare. I'll turn 65.
I actually thought you were like way younger than that.
Because I'm pretty. And
no, you were a very good looking guy.
I am. Thank you. With or without the beard, but it's hunting season, so that's
debatable. Yeah.
The beard's doing hunting.
Very pretty.
But anyway,
look at the face.
Our relationship.
A face a mother. Only a mother.
Only my mother.
Should love.
A face for radio, man.
A face that a mother should love.
That's right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the woman used to beat me with a shoe. Okay,
but she loved you.
It's pronounced chankra.
She beat you with a shoe.
She would tell me with the love of Jesus. I'd get me some of that. She hit me with a folding stool one time because that's the closest thing she had.
Oh yeah, the closest weapon at hand is the best weapon to have.
Yeah. My mother could make a shoe go around a corner like that with this song, and give you the knuckle from the behind 3 rows back.
Yeah.
She let us sit with our friends every once in a while, and then as soon as we started acting up, I feel that bam behind the head.
Oh yeah,
I got to go back and sit with my mother now.
I swear, my dad's hand could reach the entire distance of a pew. I don't care how far away I tried to get.
The other side.
Yeah, it was horrible. So anyway, Patty and I's relationship just flourished. We did great. She got in the Word. I got in the Word right away. Started right back working with youth right away. Right away. And went. We had this young youth kid that was just, I think he was 21, but with church with most churches that he had to be married and the wife had to be at least eligible to get pregnant. So they were all, we worked with them until he left. And then the Trues came in. Brett True came in, and he was not a schooled pastor. He had gone on the job training typically and everything. And been,
School of Hard Knocks.
School of Hard Knocks out there in Rockford. And he, me and him, he was a techno guy and he knew all about that stuff. And he was so young, he didn't know how to deal with teenagers and hormonal changes,
conflict and crap.
Yeah, conflict and stuff like. So that was my job to deal with that.
Right.
So I was the bad guy, and he was the good guy. So all the kids liked him more than me, and because he knew how to do whatever a tic tac, whatever
was cool then.
Tic Tac. He was big on Tic Tac.
Yeah, his breath stank.
Yeah, it stank.
That and Insta Story.
Insta Story.
He was on Insta Story and Tic Tac.
Face snap.
Face snap. Yeah. So he was good at all that stuff, and I learned how to do like emails.
Ron oversees all our tech here at the church now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The social media platforms and all that.
Yeah, social media is my favorite. I'm on a lot of those. So got right back in youth. Everything was great and everything like that. But again, God was telling me, it's time. It's your time to go and everything like that. And I thought what he meant was it's my time to go and be entering into a church as a youth pastor.
Yeah.
And everything. I'd started my education with Pastor Abbott and everything that, and then we went to Journey in Beach Park, not Journey, big Journey, but the small Journey Baptist in Beach Park. About a 95% Hispanic church, and wonderful people. The church there, small group was family groups. Each group was truly a family. You had all ages in each small group. And so again, working with youth again, found out that because I didn't speak Spanish that well, or very little, I could talk to a kid, but to go talk to his parent, I had to go find somebody. So there was a lot of things that I felt like God, tell me what I got to do here. If you tell me to sit, tell me to sit. Tell me if my other job is to clean floors here, I'm here to clean floors. Whatever job you think is for me, God. And didn't hear nothing from him. Was totally praying about, what do you want me to do here? I'm just frustrated. What wall should I beat down? I'm taking my little Spanglish class and everything like that. I'm trying to learn Spanish as much as I can. It's just not taken. So we ended up going to Beach Park Community Church up on Green Bay Road, and again fell in love with the group of people there. Worked with youth there again. They did not. Josh and Micaiah were the Micaiah were the youth pastors there, and I worked along with them. We did great and something like that. Again, we ran out of kids, and we had like 1 or 2 kids in our group, and then Journey came into the church, and Big Journey came over, and projected screen. You didn't really feel. For 2 years we did not feel like we were part of a church. We just thought we were going to a sermon every week. We had a great worship team, get you lit up, but then because the screen went down and church was over for me. So we finally said, God sent us someplace. So we shopped a couple churches. Some of the places were good, and some of them were awesome churches and Bible teaching, preaching and everything like that, but just where it was not, even at 64, I'm more of a 40, like you say, I'm a 44, 64. And we didn't feel like it would fit in. So we came.
And that's not just his pant size.
It's not my pant size anymore.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. I wear a 40-30, okay? You tell what direction it goes in.
Jeez. Quick question.
Yes.
Beach Park Community, or what was it?
Beach Park Community Church.
So when were you there?
Crap. Joey, is that?
Was that when you were there, Joey?
No. I just remember back in like 06 or 05, there were some big bands that played there, like the Felix Culpa and whatnot.
Oh, no, that was not that church.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not that church.
Never mind.
Not when I was there. They may have been there, but not when I was there.
I remember taking a brick from one of those, like the church that Journey came into and took over, and that space is still empty from that tower.
Well,
do you still have
the big Journey up?
You stole a brick from a church. You stole a brick out of a church building.
Still have
dude.
Yeah. So that was probably Journey, big church Journey. Up
you may Kenosha. Still go to hell for that.
In Kenosha.
I think you should go put it back.
I asked for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Don't matter. Yeah. You still got.
But you didn't return the brick.
Yeah. I stole the money. I asked forgiveness for it, but I still got that money.
Still driving the car.
Still driving. So, and then we ended up here. God led us here.
And then everything went to a screen.
No. Everything.
That's true. There's a pattern here, Ron.
Yeah,
thanks.
Bye, Ron.
We walked
Time to go.
We walked in, and the lead pastor was not here.
Yeah.
He was not
That's
here.
a drawing card.
I walked in, and I saw elders preaching.
Did you come in during the series where we had?
Yeah, everybody gave their testimony.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we had
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
you were old, Matt.
All the elders got up and shared their story.
Really am.
Which was
so. Here I got
awesome.
First was JC's.
Oh, so you came in on JC's where he's talking about.
So and then
we just interviewed him.
Yeah, and so then Shannon came. I flew out of it. I mean, this church had me lifted up because I've never felt from, and I'll just say it, from a woman, the Spirit of God come out like that. Just to this day, I'm just enthralled with her because of the way that she carries herself and her faith and everything, and I just love her so much because of it.
She's amazing.
So then the next week is Tom King,
who we still haven't gotten on the podcast yet.
So
he says he's coming soon. He's coming soon.
So Tom King gave his testimony. Never met the man before in my life. I walked home afterward just like, how are you stealing my story?
You're telling my story.
Why are you telling my story?
Yeah.
It was the exact story. And I hugged him and everything like that. And I was like, whew. Who is this guy? This church has got people in it that can just get up and preach and give them their story. And then there was Doug.
Oh, exactly.
So there was Doug. How can you tell your life story and get ask for tithing at the same time? I don't know, but he was able to do that.
He's a wizard.
He's a wizard.
He is the money man.
He will bring the money into the situation.
He's the Matthew of our family.
Now, I don't mean to sidetrack this conversation, but I saw Doug Rendell today online.
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you saw him. I was like, oh,
I saw him online today, talked with him for a little bit. He's growing a beard.
Growing a beard? Like he's letting it.
Yeah.
Because he's Colorado.
So he's Colorado.
Oh, I
and
like
now
that's
his
what we
new
call a
nickname
man-scarf.
is Patch Rendell.
Patch Wendell.
I call
Patch
him
Rendell.
Complainer Rendell.
Yeah. He'll write a 4-story book just on one sermon. But yeah, no, I heard all these things, and I all of a sudden it was like
Rodney
gave his too. Rodney was a very short one. But
the only one that got out of that was Eric Bean.
Eric Bean got
Yeah, because he was supposed to come up and teach,
He was
and
supposed
something else happened.
Yeah, something else happened, and then
He had some family stuff happen.
he had some family
He had a
things
lot of
happen,
family
and then guess what? A pandemic happened before he was
We
able
got
to-
it.
Yeah, before he was ever able to
I
kick it
only
off.
got to hear Tim the Byprop preach one time live, ever. But by that time,
His was the worst one,
it was
easily.
Well, you didn't get.
By
I've never heard the story. The thing about it, it's like he's never given it around me, so I don't know.
You really don't know it?
He was a PK kid, so
I really wasn't.
no,
No.
you weren't.
No. You know what? I have never. I'm trying to think if I've ever given like a full blown.
We need to hear it one time.
And you know why? Because I'm like, people have heard it.
But they haven't. Because they've only ever heard bits and
I've
pieces.
only heard, you know,
Like, I've only ever heard bits and pieces, and I've listened to you teach for like 11 years.
Yeah,
And
figure
I don't
I'd bore
remember 'cause
everybody
when you
they're like,
said-
oh yeah, I've heard that story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I want to hear it
I
one
heard the
day.
trunk story. That's my favorite
I want to
story.
hear. Yeah, or the missing car.
And if you said it when you started, I was probably never paying attention because I was in high school.
I was in high school.
Drawing
chasing
things.
girls.
Nobody pays
Bulletins.
attention.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All us high school, we was listening.
It's really right.
This was back in 04.
Oh,
So, like,
yeah.
high
It was when,
schoolers now.
because you're so old. I
Yeah.
forgot.
So I never
Yes.
listened to him. I met him and everything like that, and we had some conversations, but they were always high-by type conversations. So I really didn't know Tim at all.
I was trying to keep it that way.
But JC,
Now he's sitting next to you.
now we're like working together. I'm
He
his-
won't leave us alone
I'm his
now.
intern, aka slave,
yeah, some people may or may not know Coffee Boy.
coffee boy.
He's the intern.
Yeah, world's
Gets
oldest
all the
intern.
jobs
my
that Tim
coffee,
doesn't
Ron?
want.
That's right.
If you see Ron doing something, just know that is exactly what Tim didn't want to do that Sunday.
Yeah.
That took over Doug's position.
Yeah,
Thank you,
took a-
Doug Rendell.
Yeah. And so now, Tim sends me out with a Bible verse and says, go do this, first thing I did was mow the lawn. So
Yeah, it's amazing.
didn't know it was going to take 2 days, but I got it mowed.
Lawn looks great.
It looks great. So no,
It would take 2 days if you didn't get it stuck so often. But anyway,
yeah, true that.
not to digress.
It's a 3-cigar mow.
Okay.
Per day.
Per day.
Every day.
Oh, Lord.
So listen to a lot of country music at the same time. But so we were already involved with youth, and we were already got involved with different things, and got involved with the youth group with Rodney. I'm not a youth group, with a life group with Rodney. JC, the hugger man, took me under his wing right away to be, assistant chief hugger of the church.
Assistant chief hugger.
Before we went, this all before COVID and everything.
We should be talking to Shannon about getting them shirts.
The huggers, yeah.
Hugger,
And
assistant chief hugger.
Assistant chief hugger.
Not asked, chief hugger.
Mugger.
So,
Check your wallet.
so and Patty was involved and stuff like that, and we were both on the hospitality team, and then came COVID, and then we were at home, watching church in our jammies and everything like that. So, so we were at that, trying to keep that close knit of the youth group leadership together. We were trying to keep the small group together, even though being Patty eventually had to pull away because we were just busy doing so much stuff. I was still working, and then I was retired. But then, so we were getting all that done, and COVID drew his task. Then we finally had an outdoor service.
Which was a blast.
That was fun.
It was like the most awesome thing. But at that service, the most awesome thing about it was my wife was baptized.
Yeah.
Right. She'd been baptized when she accepted Christ at Calvary, but she felt like she really didn't know what that meant. But through Tim's services and through other people talking and everything like that, I'm sitting there. We're sitting next to each other, and I'm feeling the weight of the Holy Spirit on me as we're talking about the baptismal call. And I'm feeling and I said, Jesus, if you're telling me to get up and get rebaptized, I'm up.
I'm ready to go.
Ready to go.
Shirts off.
I'm up.
Put me in, coach.
Don't have to dunk me out.
We're
diving.
outside. The sun is out.
It's like 84 degrees.
Yeah, I was about to say it was a beautiful day out.
Beautiful day.
You don't have to dunk me out diving, And all of a sudden she says to me, I think I want to be baptized again.
Yeah.
And I want you to baptize me. Oh, mercy, Jesus. Come on now. I was like, I'm up there, right? So we went up there, and it was so fast because there was a lot of people being baptized. It was so fast, it was like a non-moment for that moment. And then all of a sudden, we kind of recollected and everything like that, and people were getting towels, and Shannon's crying, and Bree's mom's crying, and all these people crying, and I'm going like, okay, this was a very emotional day for me. I need a steak.
We're going to Texas Roadhouse now.
Texas Roadhouse. No, so that's when we knew we were
story though.
settled
I
in.
love that.
Yeah, that's when we're totally settled in.
And that, you know what though, isn't baptism just one of those?
Oh yeah,
just one of those times, one of those things.
Yep.
Whether it's you or you're participating with somebody else, that is just it's an emotional aspect of somebody dedicating their life to Jesus Christ,
Right.
and it is.
Yeah, and
Like
I
said,
think
it's awesome.
I think the
especially when it's your
continuation of
loved
that is communion, and that was another thing that brought me to this church was when Jerry was here and when Jerry was alive, and when
Jerry Barry.
Jerry Barry would when his whole family would go up,
Yeah.
and we're not talking two people, we're talking a big bunch of folks,
Mm-hmm.
and he would pray over them before they would take communion,
Yeah.
and that would just put my heart in upheaval because I wish that was me. I wish that was me with my kids because my kids are totally far away from church and Jesus. But to see that and to have a church that had a communion every week, so we go back to the Church of Christ again.
Right.
So that was there, and to see that where people were able to come together to pray before communion together. Man, nothing takes that away from me. Still to this week, nothing takes it. To watch other people come up and take communion by themselves and with themselves.
And it's fun to watch how everybody does it so differently.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Very rarely see one person by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, very rarely see one
Standing on stage, I'm so often playing music behind, unless it was this last week when my guitar died.
Yeah.
But it's awesome to see, and I'm right there with you, watching Jerry and his family walk up.
Yeah, it was just that was
magical.
That was the thing that just said, "This is my church. This is my church," and everything like that. And then we knew we were hard bound by then. So, and then Tim started preaching again, and it was all right.
And he still stayed.
He still stayed.
Almost left.
As you're talking, there's several things that come to mind. And one of them is as you talk about the church, even when you were far away, the way that you talk about the church, there's such a sense of how you view people, how you love people.
Oh, I do.
There's something about that and that's one of the things I see in you is that you have a desire for people to know who Jesus is,
right?
And you want people to get along. You want people to fellowship. You want that community aspect, and I love that about you and Patty and how you don't just say it. You live it,
right?
And you're passionate for the kids to understand what this community looks like and who Jesus is in their lives, and you don't give up on that,
right?
And I think that's such a powerful testimony and story to people. And one of the aspects, as you said, that when somebody invited you to church, and you're like, nah.
Never lied to a preacher, but
Never
here we
lied
go.
before, but this might be my first time. But, I mean, there may be people here watching that are maybe not so far away from God,
Right.
but man, they're just not following close.
No.
Far with the church.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody today? If you were able to speak right into somebody, if they're sitting in their living room, they're watching in their car, or they're listening, driving down the road, whatever, what would you say to somebody today that they've heard about God,
Right.
They've heard about the intimacy of God, they've heard about the love of God, forgiveness of God, all these different things, but they're just like kind of like what you were. You're just like, but I'm not experiencing it now.
No, I'm not.
What would you say to somebody like that?
So that's I always have 4 or 5 different things, and it depends on who I'm talking to and where they're at and everything. I'll use the what if. What if I'm right? What if I'm right in saying that God is your salvation to heaven, and whether you don't know Jesus is your salvation to heaven, and whether you believe in heaven or hell or anything like that? What if? What if I'm right? What if I'm right? And my biggest thing is, because I love you, that person.
There you go.
I don't want to be in heaven without you. I don't want to be in heaven without my children, and that's one of the things that grieves me a lot. I don't want to be in heaven without my brothers, and that what grieves me a lot. I don't want to be in heaven without my father, and that's what grieves me a lot. So that is probably, for somebody that I have some sort of a relationship, that's usually where I go. And if it's somebody
and you're highly relational, and so when he says that, he means it.
Yeah.
It's evident.
Yeah.
That you love people.
Yeah.
Even though you used to like to fight them, I think it was just so
I
you
used to
could
love
touch
fight
them.
people. That was
It's
the hug
because
them
you love
afterwards.
Yeah.
We would hug afterwards.
I had a buddy like that.
Yeah, everything. When you're 19 years old and Navy, and you think I didn't get any tattoos though, so that's okay. So I fought instead. So that was your choice: fight or get a tattoo. I think I fight. But to other people that I don't know, and I'm still, and this is one of the things that I myself need to pull out of myself and have God help me is to be able to talk to that random person on the street, or somebody that I've just met, and just be able to say, hey, have you heard about Jesus? Do you know about Jesus? I have no relationship with you all. You don't know me at all, but I'm going to tell you about this guy about Jesus. And while I have done it, it's a hard cocoon to break out.
Absolutely.
It's a hard cocoon to break out.
But isn't it thrilling, and isn't it almost like addictive from the standpoint of if you've ever done that?
Yeah.
And you get a high off of it easy.
And watch God just work in their life.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden you're just
that
like,
spiritual high.
Yeah.
I want to do that again.
I want to do it again.
Do it again.
So what I'm really good at, though, is being the sidekick for the guy that can do it.
Yeah.
Because then I can throw my life into it and stuff a little bit. Because, the guy that's usually talking, he's been in ministry for 27 years, or he's been a Christian for all his life. And,
Well, one thing I do know is that if you're with somebody that doesn't like to talk a lot, you can carry the conversation.
Right. And that's
I don't mean that in a negative way.
No,
I mean that
it's effective.
That's a positive.
And that's where I really like it, to have somebody that can open that can, and I can pour the soup.
Hey, have you met my friend Ron?
Yeah, really.
Right.
That's one of the things I looked for when I was finding a girlfriend.
Have you met my guy?
Perfect wingman for
have you met my
evangelism.
friend Ron? Well,
Is that why you were taking Ron with you everywhere you went there for a while?
No. I meant like the talking part.
Oh, okay.
I don't like talking.
Well, that's why you were taking Ron with
we
you.
have tried that with my nephew in the middle of a racing event in Michigan. Zachary was about 17, 18-year-old strapping young man, hockey player, beautiful guy, afraid of girls. So we were walking through the crowd, and I go, hey, have you met my nephew Zachary? And he'd go, so I'd have to talk for him.
Yeah.
He's a hockey player. He has a car.
And he's available.
And he's available.
You said something a minute ago, and I want to kind of go back to that because I think it's very interesting that many Christians have a fear of talking about something that they believe in, right? And I actually heard an atheist mention say this. It was, Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
Ben Gillette.
Yeah.
He's the one who said this, who's a very staunch atheist.
Yeah.
He said, and he used this illustration, if there was a truck rearing down upon me that I didn't see, and you had the opportunity to pull me out of the way and you didn't,
yeah,
how evil do you have to be not to save my life? Right. And so if you believe that there is a God that can save my life for eternity, you should be telling me about it. Yeah. You should be sharing that. Yeah. And I think that's where you're at. Is there's a God that can rescue you, can bring life, that can save you from even right here, right now, some of the things that we're going through, and bring a peace that passes all understanding. Right. You know that peace.
And I'm quite able to get up in front of people and share my faith. You get me to a crowd, I can share my faith real easy. If that's what my intention is to do, not just come up and do that. But to go.
It's that one-on-one
in
the wild.
Go out there knocking on a door, man. We're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I don't wear a white shirt and a little name tag or anything.
Yeah. And there's some truth in that from the standpoint of building that relationship, building trust, to be able to speak into people's life. There has to be some level of trust.
And that's why
otherwise you can build up bigger walls of resistance, potentially. So
especially with kids, I've never gone to kids and first thing out of my mouth is, "Hey, let's talk about Jesus." My first thing is, "Hey,
I'm Ron.
Hi, I'm Ron. I'm bigger than you, and I beat you up." No, my thing is,
I don't think that goes for all our guys.
I know, especially his kids. But
amen.
I think they can take it.
They could take me. Probably could. Yeah, Roman could. Jillian could put one on me. But anyway, so
hold you up.
Yeah,
play basketball with you.
But building a relationship with kids, finding out what they like and don't like, and find out where they're at.
And it's so true with
before
kids
you even
in particular.
You're 3 weeks in or whatever, 3 visits in before you can even broach that subject. I've mentored a lot of kids for school mentoring and behavioral mentoring, and been told very strictly by the company I was working for, you cannot talk about Jesus. We know you like that Jesus guy, but you can't talk about him. Okay, so about a month in, I talked to him about
What was that accent?
I don't know. It just came out of my voice. Okay. I do accents. I just never know where they're at.
They're not racist because he doesn't actually know what accent it is.
That's right.
He's not picking on any culture.
Right. I mix them up. Like 4 weeks in, I go, part of this behavioral study is, where's your walk in life? Do you believe even in a higher being? Because a lot of these kids are drug or things. And do you even believe in a higher being? So, because if you're going to go to these classes, if you're going to go to step classes, number one thing they're going to put out there is, we believe in a higher being. So if it's God, Buddha, whoever you believe in, do you have any of that? And I'll get a lot of, And I said, well, let me just tell you who I got, and you do what you want to do with it. And I'll tell them about, I won't give them the whole story, but I'll just tell them basically that I was basically lost. I was lost in this world. I grew up in a Christian home, but later on in my adult life, I was lost to the world and loving the world. Lord made me a lot of money. The world made me a lot of money. The world met me with a lot of famous people, got to do a lot of cool stuff. I said, but I was still lost. I was lost. And until Jesus hit me with a 2x4 a few times to get my attention, said, we've had enough time to play. It's time to get back in here.
Time to get serious with life.
Yeah. And because that woman's going to walk out on you. Another woman will walk out on you. Another thing with kids will be, just everything in my life was starting to fold on me. So I said, well, it worked for me. It brought me, if anything, it brought me peace. And now it's not peaceful all the time. You cannot tell that because you have Jesus, you have peace all the time.
No, it's peace in the middle of chaos.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Yeah, there's peace in the middle of chaos. The only thing, so you have that, you have the, the shell around you that protects you, but you're still in that same storm. And that the relationship, and even with anybody I meet, I try to have a relationship with them sometime.
But I think that's and one of the things that you do very well, Ron, is let's be honest. This generation. Man, they are lie detectors.
Yeah.
Oh,
this generation.
Oh, they can pick up your chick anyway. Yeah.
If you're BSing them, they've got it. They've got your number before you've got your number. Mm-hmm. And I think the sincerity that you come with, I think kids see it.
Yeah.
They know it. They know what's sincere and what's not. And one thing about Ron, dude, you're sincere about it. I want to be. And I appreciate that. Yeah. I really, really do.
Yeah. So. No, I say the whole time here at the church, we've through the leadership of this church, we have felt wanted, we felt needed, we felt used in a good way, and felt used.
Me too, man. Me too.
In a good way. And
tell me about it.
And then, poor guy. So, and from the biblical teaching coming from the pulpit, no matter who's preaching that weekend, that I've just been fed, and you don't come here to be fed. We come here to worship, but at the same time, I have been fed, and Patty has been fed, and we've been to the point of emotion more than a few times, and to know to be able to turn around to somebody that we may or not know, and hug on them, and just tell them that Jesus loves them, and we love Jesus, and that's the thing that's really the cool part about the point, not North Point, the point.
Yeah, we said that. I think the very first podcast that we put out, we talked about the fact that if nothing else, I hope that number one, God is always first, and then we're making Jesus famous. But I think there's a transparency here that the authenticity of
realness.
who we are,
Yeah.
it has to be up front.
Right.
That was established with the founding pastor. I think that's something that has continued on, and I think that's Ron. I think that's why I love you so much, is because if you want to know who Ron is,
He'll tell you, and he'll keep telling you, and your ears will be so tired, but he'll keep telling you.
I keep telling you.
He's an honest guy.
Yeah.
Very real.
honest guy. No, we love you, Ron.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks for being here today.
I really enjoyed it.
Amazing story. Glad you're here.
It's a crazy story.
It is.
Yeah,
and again, thanks for being my sidekick for a while here.
well, I'm going to be till you get rid of me or something like that.
Heck yeah. Let us know in the
Or if all
comments
the
if you think
kids
these
leave.
podcasts are getting freaking better, because this is a blast.
Because this,
Yeah, this was fun.
well,
This was
Sarah Martin's, though, I'm going to tell you.
Oh, it's good. It
was
was real
awesome.
good.
Oh, that would rip your heart out.
It did.
Stomp on it
Well,
and
since
come back for some
I
more.
knew her during those days, during her youth.
Yeah.
Her ute.
Her youth.
And he'll let you know that. He'll keep letting you know that.
Her and my oldest daughter were besties for a long time, and Ring of Thieves was deep.
Got into a lot of.
Yeah, that was a good podcast. So if you missed that, go back and,
back and
and
see
watch
Sarah Martin's, yeah.
Sarah Martin's.
Yeah, it was blast.
And they say
Hey.
JC's coming up to do one.
JC's coming up. Yeah, probably this. Well, you would have already seen JC's by the time this comes out.
Okay.
JC's is out there. So.
Okay, well,
Glad you guys like JC.
Way to
Yeah,
spoil the
glad,
surprise, everyone.
Glad you were able to see that one.
yeah, that's right.
But yeah, if you like our podcast, please subscribe to those. Like them. Is that what this
That's
is?
like
this was my reminder.
Oh,
Like.
And share. How's that?
Oh,
Did I
baby.
did I nail
Nailed
them
it.
all? Did I nail them all?
No. You got to like, subscribe,
Oh, that was the part-
share, but
And
then
then-
also hit the notification bell.
Ring that bell.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
So that's what I need to learn is the subscribe, because I don't know how to do the subscribe.
Oh, if you haven't subscribed,
I'll
give
show
me
you
your
how.
phone.
I got
All
nothing.
right.
I'll show you how.
You cannot have my phone, Tim.
All right. That's probably a wise thing. All
I'll show
right.
you.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we will catch you next time.
Bye now.
See ya.
Thanks
See
a
ya.
lot.